So like I said, we're going to talk about a very interesting topic today. We're going to talk about compound measures and motion. Now, along the line, you guys would have done this in different stages and at different lessons in your math life. So let's break it down a little bit and let's try and make it as easy for everyone to understand. What do I mean by compound measures and motion? Firstly, what makes it compound? When we're talking about motion, we're talking about distance, we're talking about time, we're talking about speed. Okay, so we're talking about more than one thing, so it becomes compound. Okay, so why would we need to work out distance, time, speed? How would that affect us? Where would that actually affect us? Does anybody know how distance, time, and speed would be part of our daily lives? Firstly, when we're talking about distance, yes, for getting to places, when we're talking about distance, we are talking about the length from start point to the end. So if you are running a race, okay, if you are running a marathon, you need to know the length, the distance basically of where you're starting and where you will be finishing. Likewise, when we talk about time, we're talking about how long, how many seconds, how many minutes, how many hours will it take you to get from point A to point B. Then finally, we need to know about speed. And when we talk about speed, we're talking about how fast or how slow we are traveling. So for example, if you are a long distance runner, you will have a set time in which you are going to get from point A to point B. You would know the amount of kilometers and the time and the distance it would take for you to get from place A to place B. Am I correct? Yeah, super. So now that we've established why we need to know about distance and time and speed, let's talk a little bit further about such things. Okay, we know that we represent, I'm going to quickly try and draw on my board. It wasn't really playing game with me earlier. So I'm going to see if it works out better for me right now. Okay. Okay, here we go. So we're going to try and draw this relationship that we get between, okay, that's not what I was going for. Okay, there we go. When we talk about this relationship, it's, sorry for my drawing, guys, it's normally referred to in this sort of diagram. We say distance is equal to speed and time. So firstly, before we go any further, we can work out distance, we can work out speed, we can work out time. Everybody with me? Good. Okay, so if we were calculating the average speed of a car, what we would then say is, we would say distance is equal to speed, sorry about that, speed times time. Why would we do that? Why would we say distance is equal to speed times time? For us to work out how long it took for us to get there, we need to know what speed we were traveling at and what time, how long a time we were traveling on the road. Everybody with me? Okay. Let's clear this. Clear all drawings. Okay. So if you're measuring time, we say time is equal to distance over speed. And if you were calculating speed, you would say speed is equal to distance over time. So only when we're working out distance do we say Distance is equal to speed times time. But when we're working out time and speed, we are dividing. Everybody with me? Super. Okay. Everybody got that? So when we're working out distance, we multiply. But when we're working out time and speed, we divide. Everybody got that? Super. Now, let's do a few examples together. Okay, so you guys can calculate and give me the answer on the chat as well as we go along. For example, if I want to calculate the average speed of a car traveling a journey of 200 kilometers and it was traveled in two and a half hours. A car making a journey of 200 kilometers in 2.5 hours. What would my answer be? Firstly, what would my formula look like? So guys, formula would simply look like this. Okay. So my formula would look like this. It will say speed is equal to distance over time. Everybody agreed? Now, what is we're still trying to establish what the speed was, how long it took for us, or what speed we were traveling. So we got distance, and we know we traveled a distance of 200 kilometers, and we know it took us 2.5 hours to get there. Now, how will I get my speed? I will simply say 2.5 hours divided by 200 kilometers, and I traveled at a speed of 80 kilometers an hour. Does anybody not agree with that calculation? Okay, everybody's happy. That's super. Now, if I wanted to say, how far does a car traveling at 120 kilometers an hour cover in 3.25 hours? Okay, so what I have is, once again, I've got the time, I've got the speed it was traveling at. Now I need to work out the distance. So how would I go about working that? Remember, when we talk about distance, we multiply. So firstly, I will say distance is equal to, because this is my formula, guys. We always start with our formula. We say distance is equal to speed multiplied by time, because when we're working distance, we multiply speed and time. Now, we know speed is given, time is given. Speed is 120 kilometers and time is 3.25. So we'll say 3.25, sorry about that. So distance therefore is equal to 120 multiplied by 3.25, and our answer will be 390. So literally speaking, the distance traveled was 390 kilometers. Everybody agreed? Yes? Super. So we have now confirmed that traveling at that speed will get us to okay. So I just have a learner that's slightly confused about the 80 kilometers. So before I go any further, guys, I'm going to redo that one. So please bear with me for a few seconds, guys. Okay, so I said the average speed of a car makes a journey and it's traveling at 200 kilometers, and it made this journey in 2.5 hours. That's what I started off with. Okay, So here we are established we are working or calculating speed. So we say speed is equal to distance divided by time. Are you with me? Okay, so for us to establish speed, we need to say distance traveled was 200 kilometers. Time traveled, we took 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours will become 2.5 because we can't put a fraction underneath this. We have to convert it. Therefore, if you have to calculate 2.5 into 200 kilometers, you will get a distance of 80 kilometers an hour. Are you good? Okay. So you understand that one. That's super. Okay, so we worked out speed, we worked out distance. Now, the only thing we have not worked out yet is time. So let's go. A distance traveled by a car is 390 kilometers. How long does it take a train to make a journey of 720 kilometers at a speed of 160 kilometers an hour? So a train needs to travel. Sorry guys. A train needs to travel 720 kilometers, okay? And it's traveling at an average speed of 160 kilometers per an hour. Now, we need to work out the time. The time it took the train to get to its destination. And once again, it's a division sum, and we say time is equal to distance over speed, because that's our formula for working out time. So we do not know time. It has not been established as yet, but we know the distance it needs to travel is 720 kilometers. We also know it is traveling at a speed of 160 kilometers an hour. Sorry, an hour. Okay, so 160 divided by 720 will give me, time will therefore equal to 4.5. Basically, it takes 4.5 hours for the train to get to its destination. Yes? Okay. So, we've now done time, we've done distance, we've done speed. And you guys are answering like superstars on the other side. So I have to believe you guys thoroughly understand what I am teaching you. Yes? Is there any questions? Is any part of what I've taught you confusing you? No questions. Super. Okay. So guys, not always when we get time, distance, speed, do we actually get the numbers the way we want it or the mileage the way. Sometimes we need to convert hours and minutes, okay, because we can't multiply it just like where it is, so we need to convert. So let's look at this. So if I need to convert 3.6 hours to hours and minutes, how would I go about doing that? Sorry, minutes. Firstly, we know an hour is equal to 60 minutes. Everybody agrees? Super. And we know that in that alone, how many hours are there? There are 3 hours. Okay, so 0.6, how would we convert that? Because this now, if I remove 3 hours from there, this is now looking like 0.6. But how do I work it out? We also know that in every minute has 60 seconds in it. So what must I multiply it by? I multiply it by 60. And therefore, my answer would be 36. So 3.6 hours is therefore 3 hours and 36 minutes. Okay,